Sonny, Joey, 500. Got some goats in the field. Get ready for a shakedown. Prepare for a shakedown. We from Philly where they clap like huddles when they break down. Get ready for a shakedown. We underdogs, my guy. Kinda used to all the hate now. Prepare for it, man. Y'all get it. My QB got swag. My wideout is award winning. This fly was fly. Joey and 500. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Here's a quote you can sing back. Shake squad up and don't be a dingbat. It's a shakedown.
Don't you frown.
Shakedown.
Here comes Philly Shakedown.
Let's go.
Yo, what's going on, guys? This is the Philly Shakedown. Well, don't you frown, it's the Philly Shakedown.
Don't you frown, it's Philly Shakedown.
Episode 19 already. 19 episodes already into this, which is great. We are a week away, guys. We are a week away from football, what we've been waiting for. We're really excited. Philly 500, how's everything going today? How you doing? Oh, my God. What is going on?
I don't know. My big fat fingers hit the damn screen when I want to make sure it's charging. So you got to see my big noggin. What's happening, man? How are you doing?
We're chilling, dude. I mean, look, we're 1 week away from the showdown. Obviously, throughout the week, the roster, we had the 53-man roster, practice squad already set up, and I want to know your thoughts on the roster itself, your surprises of what they've done so far, and just how everything's really come to get you good.
Did it again. Mother humper. These big fat fingers are always in the way. I gotta go on a diet. But so what was the question again?
I want to ask you right now just about the whole week, about the roster moves, practice squad, anything that surprised you, anything that you have questions about, or issues you have of this roster so far this week.
Like a lot of people got worried about Jordan Howard. I did a video that day, and I was like, I'm not really worried about it because I thought it was a move because they thought that they could keep an extra guy on the roster until they get to the IRs, right? Because you set the IR a day after you have to make the cuts. So you have to be kind of slick about it. If you want to keep Tyree Jackson and get him to the IR, he has to stay on the 53-man roster for 24 hours. So they put Howard down there, and that surprised a lot of people. It didn't really surprise me. I thought they'd bring him back. What surprised me about the whole thing was that he's on the practice squad. Like, I still think he's the second running back on this team. And so what has surprised me so far is that he is still on the practice squad. And I got to tell you, I didn't think Fulgham would clear waivers. And the fact that he did was really good. But, I mean, really, nothing too surprising as far as I can say. I still think they have 7 linebackers because they want to trade somebody. The only thing is I maybe would have expected. I thought they would have had a little more movement.
Yeah, and obviously when you talk about the roster itself, you saw Travis Fulgham get released. We got nervous right there because we thought Travis Fulgham was going to get picked up. John Hightower got released as well. And then from that last game against the Jets, and even in your video, I watched your video on it, on the whole thing, and that game saved him. I think it really showed a week before that too, because when they only put him in for 8 snaps and kind of shelved him, put him back on the bench, which really did worry us. We said, there's no way. There's just no way. But what do you think the interest in J.J. Arcega-Whiteside? Why did he make this roster over Travis Fulgham and John Hightower?
I mean, look, I'm going to tell you, part of me believes that he already had an advantage because he was a second-round pick. And Howie Roseman does not want to give up on a second-round pick that quick. But the other part is you got to give Arcega-Whiteside credit. Because when the big game was on the line and it was the last preseason game, the guy went out and he played. He performed. Fulgham had a chance for a touchdown. He fumbled it in the end zone. So I can't kill the Eagles too much because he went out and performed. But I mean, we talked about this like a week ago, and a week before that, I started to do videos on it. I could tell it was coming because of the way the media starts talking about Whiteside. Right, you hear nothing about Whiteside all camp till the like like 2 weeks before they cut him, or before the cuts, and then it's he's having a good camp. He was really, and then they're disappointed with Fulgham, and I'm like telling people they're going to keep Whiteside. We talked about this last week. I said I think they're going to keep Whiteside, and they did.
Like where do you take the value of J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, because Travis Fulgham had a quiet camp last year, but not really much of a camp, but was quiet, and then kind of had got his opportunity and did a really good job for 8 games, whatever it was. But then JJ got drafted and had a really good preseason. Had one, right. I think he had one really good game, right, and did nothing during the season. So I don't know. Legit, Hightower was hurt most of camp and really played the last game, whatever it was. It wasn't much time. I mean, he had to take advantage of what he was doing. But when it comes down to it, are they really keeping J.J. Arcega-Whiteside for his blocking and his special teams? Are those the only two things?
I think special teams has a big part of it. But, I mean, let's be real. I mean, I think it's more about that pick. I really do. I mean, you could find guys who play special teams. It wasn't like he's, to me, a standout of special teams. Right. So, that's what I think. I'm just being honest.
We got a super chat for Parker. Appreciate it, bro. He said, Joey, what's your opinion on Philly 500 wanting to smash Nick Sexy Sirianni? I heard Mark Holmes wanted him because McCarthy had one too many eggnogs. What happened? What do I don't know about this right now?
I don't know either. I wanted to share a cannoli with him, but I was talking about the food, not his cannoli, if you know what I mean. I wasn't talking about his cannoli. I was talking about a cannoli,
Yeah,
so I don't know.
But do appreciate everybody coming in, guys, to the chat. Much appreciated. There's 139 here right now. If you guys have it, subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe. Guys, have it. Subscribe to my other best half of the Philly Shakedown podcast, Philly 500. Subscribe to his channel. His link in the description below.
What does this look like? If you didn't know this was a mic, I just can't get over. Why is it shaped like that? I feel weird,
Well, you having it in your hand like that, posted it up like that's probably not a good idea either. Keep it down low where it should be.
Like, can't they have it a different design?
So I want to talk about Nick Sirianni and just getting prepared for this game next week. And he was on NFL Network and was talking about how it's a 17-round heavyweight championship fight. And you're getting these guys prepared all week, and with kind of gave the illusion of Rocky versus Ivan Drago with Ivan's picture on the mirror and ripping it off when it's time to go hit. Which do you think this team is ready? And obviously with the joint practices that we did have, where we did a pretty good job, not much between Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith playing in preseason together, not once this preseason. But what are you taking out of these preseason games, joint practices, and do you think this team is ready for the first game?
I don't know. That's a great question. I'm a little bit concerned they're going to come out slow, because Jalen Hurts had 2 series the whole preseason, 2 series, and I don't know. I don't also know what the hell. Am I there?
You're good.
The friggin' Siri just went off on me.
Huh? My
Siri just started going off, and then he said sorry about that. Well, stop listening, spy. What else to say? Oh, I'm a little bit worried about I'm a little bit worried about them coming out slow. I don't know that I believe that you can sit there and replicate practice as game speed. I just don't know if I believe that. So that worries me. But I still think they're going to win week 1, but we'll get into that later.
I'm saying if you at least, if you were tackling or you're doing something where it at least makes it realistic during those joint practices, I guess you could say that. But I mean, I guess there's some value to the joint practices, but them. Go ahead.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off. You're right. Absolutely, there's value in the practice, but I don't know that I buy into that the practice can be valued as much as the game. That's all I'm saying. I don't know if I believe that. So I'm a little concerned that they come out first half a little rusty, a little slow, jumping off sides a lot, those kind of things, and then they get it going. I think they're going to beat Atlanta. I do. But, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll beat Atlanta as well because I just think I think if they're ready to punch this team in the mouth come that Sunday, I think they could really do it. I think they have perfect pieces. Tony Romo had a lot of good things to say that this Eagles team, it could be one of the most surprising teams this year, which I was really like, wow, you know what I mean? And he, he's been very good as a commentator and kind of knows what these teams are doing. And then coming to this first game, and not even just that, but have the Eagles done enough with getting more depth at corner? I know they signed the Shashir. I always mess his name up. They signed that Colts cornerback, and they really, I don't know what else they've done for safety at depth as well. So corner-wise, I'm still not really good with it. Like I said, if in a perfect world we'd have no injuries, but if Steven Nelson or Slay goes down for a game or two or for multiple weeks, you're down with Zach McPherson that's really hasn't, is still learning and has a lot to work on. And then really behind that, there's really not much there.
Well, I think depth is a problem on this team in general, not just at the corner, but I also think interior offensive line. We already Driscoll's out for how long? So I think you have some depth issues on this team. Defensive end. I really think that they're going to be okay. Ryan Kerrigan should be back and ready to go.
Oh yeah.
Cornett should be ready to go. So you're going to have a decent rotation. But secondary is a problem. If you lose Slay or Steven Nelson, I mean, you got nobody else. Who do you have?
No. McPherson's going to get burned. I mean, it's going to happen. I think he's good against the run. I think he takes good angles on tackles. I think he's good at getting off blocks. I think he does that really well. But I think other than that, after that last game, the Patriots were the third game, the Patriots were picking on him a lot. And right. The second game, I keep forgetting we only had 3 games.
Well, just talk. We won't have to get into the game. We'll talk probably a lot about next week's game because we're going to be talking. Next Shakedown is the night before the game, so it's going to be everybody's going to be amped up. But I mean, they got some receivers, man. Calvin Ridley is a good receiver. So they don't have Julio Jones, but they still can throw the ball. So I think that that secondary, definitely is a concern. The one good thing I think about going into games, I don't think Atlanta's offensive line is good. I think that's where the big mismatch will be. I think the defense is going to be able to get enough pressure that even though they have great receivers, hopefully they don't have time to throw. That's, but we'll get into all that next week.
Yeah, this might be probably, even with the cornerbacks especially, this might be another year where we have to really rely on this defensive line with all the depth behind it. I mean, they kept all our draft picks, the guy from USC, Tyree Jackson. They kept, obviously Milton Williams. So that's, they kept all those guys. I mean, I think this is another year where we have to depend on this defensive line a lot. And I better see production. That's all I got to say about it.
You got to have production, especially from those ends. I really think defensive end, whether Josh Sweat develops or not, I think that's your first pick in the draft next year, unless there's a corner who's better. But you got to load up on your defensive ends. I think the linebacking position is an interesting position because I'm not sure. I mean, maybe Alex Singleton, but who else? You know what I mean? Like you and Wilson. I like Wilson, I guess, but who else? One of these young guys is going to emerge this year. I'm not sure we know yet.
I don't know. I understand, like you said before, that we kept 7 linebackers. We kept 7, which is kind of weird. Obviously, 3 running backs, 7 linebackers. So the day before they started making the final cuts, there was rumors about trading offensive linemen and trading depth linebackers. So they traded Matt Pryor, and we got a draft pick out of a guy that's never going to start. What was it, a 6th-round pick? Gave them a 7th, got a 6th back. I mean, that was a total steal. That was a steal.
That was a great play.
Good trade.
Well, look, one thing you could say about Howie, always makes good trades. He does a good job value-wise. So, I mean, I thought it was a great trade. It was a decent trade for what it was.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with that. We all know how much he likes those 6th-round picks. Remember in the draft, we had, 3 picks?
Oh, my God. Who the hell needs 3 6th-round picks?
I don't know.
It's crazy.
Chris Scott, appreciate it, man. Says 1 week away for the Eagles to lay the smackdown on the Falcons. Don't be surprised if we win by double digits.
Double digits? Oh, that would be awesome. I really think, like, when you look at the matchups between Atlanta and the Eagles, I mean, obviously they have good receivers. Our secondary may not be that great, but I just think the matchup on the line is what's good. I don't think they get a lot of pressure either, and we're gonna have our offensive line back, and they were like one of the teams that were like last in sacks, so or at least bottom half. So I think we win both line of scrimmage. I think that's why we're gonna win that game.
I think so. I think it'll be because of the line of scrimmage, and obviously Jalen Hurts extending plays on his own for those big explosive plays, because I don't know who's going to cover Devontae Smith, because I know we haven't seen much from him in preseason, but just watching him, just seeing what he could do, and just these joint practices, these one-on-ones, these 11-on-11s, it's just amazing to watch. And just, do you press him? I don't even know how you defend him with everyone else on the field.
141 yards and a touchdown opening game. That's what I predict.
I would love that. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
But think about this. Dallas plays Thursday. So Dallas is going to already be 0-1, which is a beautiful. They're not beating Tampa Bay. I'm sorry.
Unless they just aren't prepared. Because the first game to me, look, the first game of a season is always a toss-up. It's like, who's ready to play? You know what I mean? Like, this is the first time where it counts. So you don't know who's ready. A lot of mistakes are made. So that's why these first games are always toss-ups, where like a good team should normally play a lot better, but they don't. You know what I mean? So it just depends. You know what I mean? Just gets like that.
I have two questions for you.
Okay.
First question, what do you think of the signing of this corner from the Colts? Because what I was reading about him, because I don't know anything about him, was that a lot of those players were really like kind of upset and surprised he didn't make their 53-man roster. And Gannon knows who he is. And apparently he can play anywhere. This could be one of those steals. It could be a total steal pickup.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I mean, that's what I heard, that there was fans and there was a lot of people that were upset that he left, because he did make he got sunlight. He did make the roster last year, but then because of waivers, and I think they had to move. I think they had some injuries. They had to move some people around, and I guess he didn't. They ended up letting him go. So, I mean, we need something back there. I mean, Craven LeBlanc is a free agent now. It's another guy you can go after if you really want, that knows the system. I understand it's like, oh, stop bringing these players back, but Craven LeBlanc, you could move him around if you want. I mean, you could put him in at nickel if you want, if you really wanted to. It's really up to them at the end of the day. That's just for another body, a capable body at least. I mean, it's not somebody that's spectacular, but when healthy, he could do a lot, when put to the task. I think it's all about Gannon and his system and what they put into it. So it just depends. Benny Boom 68. Sorry, man.
No, you go ahead. Take care.
Benny Boom 68 said, my guy Joey Shakespeare 500. Good to see you both. Appreciate it, bro.
Nice to see you too, my man. Thanks for being here. I was gonna say, the other question I have is, what do you think about three running backs on the team? Three running backs who are all kind of the same running back in some ways. I was a little shocked, and I'm still a little shocked about that. I really thought Howard would be brought up by now.
It makes no sense to keep just three running backs. I don't know. I mean, Kenneth Gainwell, I think we knew he was going to make the roster. I think we were going to be surprised if he didn't make the roster. But good for Kenneth Gainwell. He's going to be a beast. And keeping the 7 linebackers is just, do they really like that many? They probably do. I mean, you got a week left. I mean, you got to make a trade. You got to do something. So I don't know what they're doing at this point. I really don't know.
I mean, I just think I thought because I really thought the Howard move was based upon trying to just manipulate the roster to get a guy like Tyree Jackson to IR. And once that opens up, I thought they would take him and bring him back off the practice squad. But he hasn't been moved up yet, and he might be. But I mean, I viewed the whole preseason. I viewed Jordan Howard as a second running back. He looked thin. He looked good. They didn't even run him that much. So I really think that they're going to make a move this week where they're going to bring him off the practice squad and get him on the active roster. The other guy is McGill. He's on the COVID list. I thought he's played great. I think he needs to be on the active roster too.
Yeah, I think so as well. I mean, we'll see what happens, but it should be interesting. I mean, they should at least. I mean, I don't believe they're keeping 3 running backs. I mean, that's just me though. It just makes no sense.
And Miles Sanders getting ready to go off.
He goes off, or it's either he's going to go off or he's going to make mistakes, and Kenneth Gainwell, Professor Kenneth Gainwell, is going to go in there. and do some damage.
Gainwell's going to be good, but I think I've said this all season. I'm going to stick with it. I believe Miles Sanders will end up statistically being a top 5 back this year. I really do.
Damn. I hope so, man. I missed opportunity last year. Robert Griffin with the super chat. Appreciate it, man. Said any news since signing DB from Indy? Been on vacay. Well, enjoy your vacation. And
Yes.
no, there hasn't been anything else. It's been quiet since that signing. Nothing's really happened. Just wait. We just gotta wait a little bit. I think something will happen soon because they're not keeping if they keep 7 linebackers, I'll be shocked. I mean, there's probably a lot of them they do like. You know what I mean? So,
Yep.
We'll see. We got a super chat from Alec B. Says September 9th is my birthday, and all I want is a Cowboys loss. Also, do you guys watch all the Eagles games? NFL Game Pass. Shout out to you guys. Alec, appreciate it, man. I have to tell you.
Happy birthday, Alec.
Happy birthday. I have to say this. Game Pass was so bad. That Jets game, the Jets game, like, it was okay. Everybody was ahead of me. Everybody was already ahead of me. But that last game, the picture was clear. Then it got all weird, and then the picture got clear again. It kept doing it. Game Pass you're better off doing free trials of Game Pass, making new emails, and just doing new Game Passes. That's what you should be doing.
Yeah, I use Game Pass. Only reason I buy it's $100 a year is because on my channel memberships I put video in my videos. So all my channel membership videos are video. They're not just me. You're looking at my beautiful face. So I use clips from games and stuff off it. But when it comes to the preseason streaming, it's horrible. During every game that I streamed, I kept having to refresh my computer to get the stream up because it would freeze. I absolutely hate it, and it's on a delay. So I agree. I wasn't happy with Game Pass, but thankfully now that football season starts, I got DirecTV, I got a satellite dish, and I got the Sunday ticket, so I'm ready to go.
Yeah, and I have Sunday ticket as well, and I'm actually I play Sunday ticket from my gaming consoles, so that's where I watch mine.
Right.
And because I have it in my area as well, because if I didn't have it, it checks if it's available in your area. So, yeah, watching games when you don't live in Philly or in Jersey or whatnot, it's a real pain. To watch games, so even just preseason, because there's no way I was paying $100 just to watch preseason. And look, I mean, that's just me. I just think it's a waste of money. I mean, I think it's not worth it unless you're replaying games and you like doing that all the time. It's a whole different story. But
when I moved away from Jersey and I left South Jersey, the first purchase I made was DirecTV, so I could have Sunday ticket. I've had it every year since. I couldn't miss any Eagles game. Can't do it.
No, you can't. Can't listen to the radio. That doesn't help either.
See, and the other thing for me is I don't like streaming the game on the internet because I'm using the internet to stream on YouTube. So I like the direct feed because then it doesn't interfere with my stream.
Yeah. We got, let's see, Jason Stauffer says, what type of defense will Jonathan Gannon run? From what I could see, it's going to be a lot more zone than man. I mean, they're going to be going from a 4-3 to a 3-4. They're going to be disguising coverages, just like he kind of takes a lot from Mike Zimmer's defense with the Vikings. A lot of disguised coverages and moving defensive linemen around, blitzing linebackers. Actually using your linebackers, actually using your cornerbacks. Not keeping certain players in over on favoritism.
I'm getting excited here, but not like in that way. I have to pause for that. But oh, shit. I don't know. I'm goofy today. But like, what the hell was I going to say? Oh, just the fact that he made blitz. Like, dude, you know how for like ever since we had Schwartz, every game I'm like, you don't blitz enough. You don't blitz enough. I cannot wait to see what kind of blitzes and how many blitzes they run a game.
So 500. So what does it show you when Schwartz used to do that, like that prevent defense on third downs where he got real nervous? What does it show you when you do a picket fence defense all the time, every game?
It shows you can't adjust. You're right. I mean, you can't adjust to look, when something doesn't work, right? You change it up. Am I right? Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Yes,
you got to change it up. But like when I think of the Schwartz defense, I think of the game against the Tennessee Titans that went to overtime. The guy on 4th and 15, okay, he plays picket fence, right? He plays everybody back. That I would have blitzed him right there. That's where you blitz, okay? Because you want to get the quarterback to have to throw it early. The receivers have to go 15 yards at least for first down, but they gave him all day. Then on 3rd and goals, like 3rd and 8, right? We were up 3 points in overtime, and it's 3rd and goal for Titans, and he blitzes. Like in that area where it's a short field and you're in the end zone, you back everybody up and you don't blitz. Right. You know what I mean? Like he didn't know when to blitz. And then if you watch the way the Eagles blitzed, they were not very well disguised. I mean, you could see, I could see who you had to pick up, who was coming. Everybody knew it. So, I mean, I wasn't a big fan of Schwartz's system. I just wasn't.
No, I agree. I agree. Like, I think we're going to see a big difference and a big voice from Jonathan Gannon as well, and obviously very good with. I think Nick Roush has done a fantastic job with the linebackers. Denar Wilson's doing a good job with the cornerbacks. I think they're doing. I think there's some really good position, really nice position coaches in place, and we've definitely seen production. I think linebacker's been one of the biggest positions in production, which. You know, you wouldn't expect it, but when you get a new coaching staff in here and you get the development process going, then you start to get excited about players. Then your draft picks are starting to look good at camp, and you're starting to see some production there. So it's really nice to see, and I hope it shows this year.
Yeah.
So, Robert Griffin with the super chat. What's going on, man? Says so pumped for next Sunday. EAGLES Eagles. Definitely, bro. It's gonna be next Saturday. I can't wait to stream next Saturday. It's gonna be. I can't wait to just. Reminisce on what's going to happen Sunday, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I feel like this damn sun is driving me up a wall, by the way.
It's in your face still?
Yeah, it's in my face. The angle's weird on the camera, too. It's weird. I'm trying to, like, darken and scream. I don't know what the hell. I don't know how to do technology. I barely know how to turn the mother humper on.
Got Flow YT says Joey and Philly 500 should go to a game together and blog it. Would be great content.
One day we will. One day we definitely do that. Yeah,
we'll definitely do something. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely.
We got a super chat from Alec B. He says, okay, so you can get the Sunday ticket on Xbox. Well, you got to do it from. You can, but you have to make sure that it's available in your area because if it's not. Then you can't do it, and now, I don't know why.
Now, if DirecTV is available in your area, but you don't have DirecTV, can you get it through internet?
I still think it goes. I think if you have the app, you're good. I think with the app you're fine. But if you're wanting to play it on your TV through cable or your console, then I don't know. It's really dumb how they do it. It's like it has to be in my area. If I'm willing to pay for it, then why am I getting questioned if it's in my? It makes no sense. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I told my wife if we can't get DirecTV at our new house, I ain't moving because I'm not streaming it. I just don't want to stream multiple things. I like that it comes in through DirecTV and it goes right to the TV, and I don't have to worry about it and internet going down or anything like that.
We got 261 people in the chat, guys. Appreciate it being here. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. If you guys haven't liked the stream, like the stream. The Philly Shakedown podcast, another episode 19. If you guys haven't subscribed to Philly 500, go down the description below. His link is right there. You will not be, trust me, you will love his content. Very entertaining and See what I'm talking about? That's what I'm talking about every single week. That's what you're going to see. That beautiful Jesus face.
I have the second best goal line of all in all of YouTube besides Bad Dog, who I destroyed today, by the way.
I got to watch that. I haven't watched it yet. Takeem the Dream says, what's going to be Jack Stoll's role in the offense? He made the 53-man roster for a reason. Is he strictly special teams, or will he be rotating with Goddard and Ertz regularly?
Water boy. I don't know what he's gonna be. I mean, I guess he's the third tight end right now, right? Are they gonna dress three though? That's the question.
Well, other than Tyree Jackson, Jack Stoll looked the best out of everybody. Other than Tyree Jackson, I
like Stoll. I really like that they kept him too, and I like Richard Rodgers, but I like the idea of you keeping the young guys and developing them.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to happen. So obviously, it looks like Zach Ertz is staying. That's what it looks like. It is what it is. We can't get a draft pick. We can't free up $8.5 million, so the Eagles would have over $20 million in cap space, which would be great. Because I'm very good on Dallas Goedert being the number one, but are they actually gonna? Is Zach Ertz gonna be the number one role?
We gotta talk about this Dallas Goedert situation here.
Okay.
Because I pissed a lot. I didn't piss a lot of people, but I had 3 people say they unsubscribed to me because I said that I would still trade Zach Ertz.
Okay.
Like I guess I'm just so jaded after seeing like Reggie go and stuff. But I'd still move him. And I don't like hearing that they were talking about trading Goddard. I think that's a big mistake because here's the thing. This team, if we're being honest with ourselves, this team's not winning a Super Bowl this year.
No.
I think they're 2 years away from being legit contenders. Maybe one if everything goes right. But let's say most likely it's 2 years. Well, if you trade Goddard and keep Ertz, then in 2 years you're probably going to need a new tight end, and it's going to be a giant hole. So I keep the younger guys. That's just how I see it. So I don't understand why they would even shop Goddard. I think that's a mistake. Unless you're getting a lot for him, like a first-round pick or more, I'm not doing it.
No, because then we heard the news that the Vikings, because Irv Smith ended up getting hurt for the Vikings, he had like meniscus surgery. They tried trading for Dallas Goedert, which thank God they didn't, give Dallas Goedert up. But if Dallas Goedert's on a contract year right now, he should be starting, and Ertz should just be the number 2 and just call it a day. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's hard for me to say that.
But see, I know I understand what people think sometimes because I could go back and watch a video and it sounds cold.
Yeah, but they're not
cold.
But
I'm not trying to be.
They're not thinking about they're thinking about there's too many fans that I'm emotionally attached to Zach Ertz, but I know futuristically it would be better because you get a draft pick and you free up $8.5 million. Like this cap situation has got to get better. It will be better. We'll be under the cap next year. We'll actually have money. We won't have to restructure from $70 million like we did this year. Right. And you know what? You got to let go of guys sometimes. If Ertz wants to stay here after this year, he's got to take less money. He's not going to get that big contract here after this year. It's not going to happen.
Right. Yeah, I know. And I don't try to sound like I don't appreciate what he did or anything like that, but I'm simply thinking about the future. And we've seen it too many times where this team keeps older guys and then a year or 2 down the road, everybody's like, well, why did we keep him? We should never have kept him. Just imagine Dallas Goedert goes to Minnesota, and in 2 years, he's a top 4 or 5 tight end in the league, and Ertz is injured. Everybody's going to act like, oh, I never would have traded him. You know what I mean? But I'm keeping the young guys. I'm just keeping my young talent and letting them and building around it. That's what I want to do.
Am I good with Zach Ertz leaving? Definitely. Am I good with him staying? Look, it is what it is. I'm fine with it. Does it make our tight end room better? Of course it does. But at the same time, we gotta, the more draft capital you have, the more cap space you have, the more you could be flexible, the more you could do. You never know what you could do. This team has 16, 17 million right now. They can get $8.5 million by trading or releasing him. Right. So I think they would rather trade him and try to get something for him. But at the same time, we have to try and, I think they should get it. If I'd be fine with Dallas Goedert starting and try to develop 2 more guys. I'd be fine with that. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Well, it wasn't even keeping Ertz. I've accepted, okay, you're going to keep Ertz 1 more year, then he's probably going to walk in free agency. That wasn't the issue. The issue is, why are you going to trade Goddard? That's the thing. Okay, you keep Ertz, fine, keep Ertz. But you got to keep Goddard, too, because that's our future.
Yeah, but maybe, I think we're reading it the wrong way. Maybe it wasn't the Eagles trying to shop him. Maybe they just got a phone call and the report came out that they got and that was it. We don't know that. We don't know, but it could be possible.
Look, here's Elville, right? Ertz Philly legend, put some respect on his name. See, that's an emotional response. That's an emotional response that's not really listening to what I'm saying. You're attached to Ertz because Ertz was a great player. He's a great Eagle. I get it. I get all that. But it's not logical. if you logically want to build the best team possible in the next few years and have a core that's going to be there for 5-6 years, you build around the young guys. It's not a matter of disrespecting Ertz. It's a matter of doing what's best for the team, the Eagles, okay? That's what I'm saying. But I understand why he says that. And I'm not mad at him or anything, because I get the emotional attachment. But sometimes we have to break off from that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I know, I get it. I mean, I get it. I'm just thinking, look, if he stays here, then they have to, they need to get some work. I mean, Dallas Goedert needs he needs a better role, because I think he could just do a lot more as of right now. I think he has more speed than Ertz. Ertz is good at the break of his route. He's good. He's a good route runner, and obviously gets good separation. And reliable hands is definitely the number one thing with him. So, but with Dallas, go ahead.
No. I was just saying they could keep Ertz. Fine, keep Ertz. Just don't trade Goddard away. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know that it kind of looks like that because of keeping Ertz. Like, oh, we're going to keep Ertz, but then there's these rumors of Dallas Goedert getting traded to the Vikings, and obviously it didn't happen. So they probably wanted. I don't know. We don't know. So I mean, it's really up in the air.
Yeah. But I mean, I understand the emotional response. I've been broken from that since Reggie White left. Mm-hmm. That broke me. So to me, once Reggie White, one of the top 10 greatest defensive players of all time, leaves and goes somewhere else in his prime, you kind of jaded me a little bit. Yeah,
no, I agree with that. We've got Jared Rodriguez says, how do you get Sunday ticket and what is it? Sunday ticket is pretty much if you're out of the area for where you can watch your games. If you're out of Philadelphia, you're out of New Jersey, you live across country, and obviously you're not going to get the Eagles games. You have to. The only way to watch the game is through NFL Sunday Ticket, which you could pay quarterly, like $70 every couple months, or you could pay the whole thing, $300, and you pretty much you either go see if it's in your area first. You could do it from a gaming console. You could do it from the app. But you have to see if it's in your area. If you don't have it in your area, then you can't use it. And obviously you have to do some tinkering with some other apps and other things like that. So.
Yeah. And look, I like Tyree Jackson. I think that he could develop into a monster. He can be. So why not keep Goddard and then develop Tyree Jackson? And then while Goddard's still in his prime and Tyree Jackson is ready to take over, that's when you trade Dallas Goedert. And you trade him and you get maximum value. If you trade Ertz 2-3 years, he's not worth anything. No. So to me, you develop Tyree Jackson to eventually replace Goddard, but you replace Ertz with Goddard. Now Ertz can stay as a backup. He's got to take backup money. Look, Ertz is good this year. Ertz I still think is a Pro Bowl tight end this year. But are they winning a Super Bowl this year? What is Ertz going to be in 2 years when you're ready to go win a Super Bowl? And then all of a sudden you don't have another tight end? I think you have to think about keeping the young guys for the betterment of the team. That's all I'm saying.
Well, yeah, because the mistakes they've been making since the Super Bowl is keeping the same roster and not developing. You could draft as many guys as you want that look good on paper, but if they can't show up, if your coaching staff can't develop these guys and get the maximum production out of these guys, it's just not going to work. This is the hump we have to get over. It's development. I say it probably 1,000,000 times every single video, pretty much. And I think that we're going towards that good direction right now, but obviously we haven't hit that first game yet. We need to see what these other guys could do. So you always have to develop somebody in that position. You have to.
Right. Here's a question for the people that are asking me about or saying that you trade Goddard. What do you really think the Eagles can get for Dallas Goedert? Can the Eagles get a first-round pick? Because if they can get a first-round pick, you may sway me. Do I believe they could get a first-round pick for Goddard? I don't. I think maybe at best a conditional second or third. That's what I would think.
Yeah, I believe it. Because really, you've seen Dallas Goedert in a rotational, double tight end set role. You've seen him go in for Zach Ertz, but not saying that Dallas Goedert has been the healthiest either. Every 6 games, it seems like he gets a little bit of an injury. Not saying he's out the whole year, but he gets injuries.
But don't forget, Ertz was injured early in his career a lot too.
Mm-hmm. Swaggy G with the super chat. Appreciate it, man. It says, and I love the profile picture, by the way. It's my favorite. But which Eagles players will be the best in the game versus the Falcons?
You ready for it? I'll give you three.
Here you go.
I'm going to give you three.
Okay.
Miles Sanders, Devontae Smith, and Brandon Graham. They're going to all go off. I think Devontae Smith in his first game as a rookie will have 140 yards catching. Maybe I'm totally an idiot, but we'll see.
You think they're going to be afraid to throw it deep like first series? You think they'll actually throw it deep?
I think they will, but I also think that Devontae Smith is going to be all over the place. I just think that teams, they really haven't seen him yet. They haven't seen the offense yet, and I just got a feeling he's going to go off.
I agree. I think Devontae Smith. I mean, because with these receivers now, they're not stuck to one side. Like they're making, Nick has made these receivers intermediate, so they're playing all three receiver spots now. So if the Falcons defense is lined up, you could put anybody on anybody. You're gonna get a mismatch in this game. The Falcons defense, they have a couple of good guys on the defensive line. I'm not a big fan of their cornerbacks, but they're going to have a lot of mismatches this game. They should win this game. I mean,
I agree. I mean, we'll break the game down later on, but like next week. But I mean, I think if you look at both sides of the ball, I think the Eagles are stronger on both sides of the ball. So I think they should be able to dominate both sides. And if they can do that, then I think they're going to be in good shape.
Yeah, I agree. Mark Jeffrey, the super chat, says your top 3 sports debate shows are. To be honest with you, I'll start because I really don't watch debate shows at all. Like I'm just not interested unless it's like something like that people are telling me to watch. Besides maybe First Take once in a while. Like I really don't watch anything. To be honest, I really don't.
I don't know of any. I don't watch them. I don't watch Skip Bayless because he's a dingbat. I don't watch a lot of the guys on ESPN. I like Shannon Sharp. I like him. I think he's funny, but I don't really watch too much of it, to be honest with you. I would say the Philly Shakedown podcast is the best sports show.
Yeah,
but we don't debate too much. But it'll happen at some point.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
We got 284 people to chat, guys. Appreciate being here. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. We go over the Eagles every single day of the year. It never stops. If you guys haven't liked the stream, please like the stream up. If you guys haven't subscribed to Philly 500, go in the description below. His link is right there. Check out some of his videos, his roasts. Check out some of his, obviously he does live streams. He live streams the games. He does post-game streams. He does everything you want. So
I had to get Bad Dog back this week for what he did a month ago. I've been slowly building that one, and I had to get him back. And I figured, why get him back? Why not take out Mark Holmes too? So 2 birds with 1 stone.
2-for-1 deal.
Double moonwalked in the air.
Red Eagle says Philly 500 right. We have to start, I don't know. We have to start building up a strong young core to add free agents to complete for a Super Bowl.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, if you told me the Eagles can win the Super Bowl this year, then I totally get the thinking. But I really think you got to kind of balance this year with the future, because if you do it right, if you do everything right, you could be in a situation where in 2 years you're ready to compete. You're all set at wide receiver, you're all set at tight end, you're all set at running back.
Right.
That's very hard to have all those skill positions being set.
Yeah, and you know what? I kind of take it from the Patriots as well, because they're a team that when Tom Brady was there, a lot of players took a lot of pay cuts. They never kept players that were really that old, multiple players over 30 or over that age. Always having cap space, good development, and they're not emotionally attached to players, so they get rid of you and they plug someone else in, and it's the scheme over talent, really, with some players. And there's players that have left the Patriots that haven't done much with other teams. So I got to respect that in a coaching aspect, and that's what the Eagles have to do as well. So that's what I don't want them to do. And I think they're going towards that direction. I don't think they're, bringing back certain players, like other than, Zach Ertz staying here, which, he's had a very good camp. Like we've already talked about it before.
Yeah.
I think.
No question.
Takeem, the Dream, says, I think the Eagles franchise tag Goddard after the season and sign Ertz to a 3-year team-friendly contract.
if Ertz takes a team friendly contract, so like he's taking backup tight end money, then fine. I have no problem with that. To me, that's fine. That's not a problem. Because I don't think at that point it would stunt Dallas Goedert's growth. I don't think they're going to tag Goddard though. I think they're going to sign him to an extension during the season. But I think the guy that you got to tag and be careful also is you got Jordan Mailata is going to be a free agent. You cannot let him go.
No, I just don't see them letting him go. Like, I don't. They went through this whole process with him where they put him on that fake IR. You know, they didn't. If he was on practice squad, we would have lost him. Don't matter what it is. Some team would love to get their hands on him and try to convert him.
I mean, you gotta take care of him. I see him as your possible franchise tag right there.
Could happen. It really could happen. I think this is going to be the year for Jordan Mailata as well to kind of get his name into the league a little bit and kind of get some attention. And, you know, who knows? Could be a Pro Bowl, maybe not. I don't know. But, you know, he's got a huge ceiling. You know, and then when you add Landon Dickerson next year on top of it, you know, if he works out, it's going to be a big offensive line and to come for the coming, coming years.
I agree.
Definitely. Matt Weeks, what's going on, man? Hope you're having a good night tonight, dude. Henry Butt says, what's up, Lane Johnson and Jason Kelsey? I have a good feeling Jannard Avery and Eric Wilson will shock on our linebacker core. I hope they both or one of them start. Go Birds.
Jason Kelsey, Lane Johnson show is here right now. No question about it. Avery, you know, I'm curious to see what Avery is going to be like at linebacker. I don't know. I mean, he was moved to defensive end because maybe he wasn't a great linebacker. I mean, I just don't know. I mean, we'll see. You know what I mean? But I think that there's a lot of talent, a lot of young upside at linebacker. We just got to see who can go out and prove it, you know?
Yeah, like Eric Wilson was pretty good. You know, I mean, I thought he missed a couple. He had some tackles for loss. He let go of some tackles in the backfield a couple times. But I think he can cover. I mean, unfortunately, he's on a one-year deal as well as Anthony Harris. Some of these guys that we really need some promise are on one-year deals like Eric Wilson. But right. I love TJ Edwards a lot. And you even said before OTA started you were excited for TJ Edwards not getting that chance. And he does well on special teams. His coverage ain't that bad. And he's all over the field as well as Alex Singleton. There's a lot of linebackers right now. Sean Bradley, another guy that's had a good amount of tackles. I mean, there's a lot of good development going on with this linebacker core. Yeah,
exactly. Shout out to Jadis Young. Don't you frown. It's Philly Shakedown. He says that like in every comment. Like he always asks me to say it. So that's shout out to you, buddy.
Shout out to you, Jadis. Joel Mack says, with the Eagles and Ertz patching their relationship up, do you think the Eagles offer him another contract? Do they go forward with Goddard?
I mean, that's what we're talking about. I don't know. I think that if Ertz wants to take backup money or a team-friendly deal to stay, then let him stay. I have no problem with it. But if he wants bigger money or if it's going to affect having to keep Goddard and now they want to trade Goddard because of it, I can't do that. I think that would be a huge mistake.
Yeah, I think as long as you get if you're able to get a first-round pick for Goddard, it might, I think it would change my mind, definitely.
I mean, they could, though. I don't think you could right now.
There's not enough from him, though, I don't think. I don't think. Unless there's a team out there that says he'll be a starting tight end and he's worth the money and he's got a high ceiling and for years
to come. If I was the GM, this is how I would do it. Okay, I would either try to trade Ertz or keep him as a backup this year, or let him play his contract, become a free agent. Then I would make Goddard my guy, extend him. Tyree Jackson would then be the guy I'm developing behind him. In 2-3 years, if Tyree Jackson becomes what we think he could be, then Goddard will be in his prime, and I will trade Goddard and get a lot of value for him. And that's how I would do it. Not trade a guy when he's old and you lose all the value. You trade him while he's got the value still.
Yeah, no, I agree. No, I agree, and that's why I think we've held on to Zach Ertz for a long time, and we've held on for him. Maybe they should have traded him when Dallas Goedert was drafted. I don't know. I know it's easier to go back in time now to say, hey, we should have got rid of these guys.
And I have a video in 2019, December 2019. I say I would trade Zach Ertz after this season. This is the year to do it, and I got killed for it.
I got ripped apart. I got ripped apart as well. But now it's like oh well, we could just sign both of them. I'm like, oh. Just like that, we could just sign both of these guys, and we're totally fine with that. It's impossible.
So they're saying that Goddard is going to get money like top 5 to 6 money. He's going to get somewhere between 10 and 12 million a year. Okay, under what Kittle is going to get. You figure Ertz probably wants to get 8 to 10 million at this point. If he has a good year, he's going to want more. I don't know that you're going to spend that much money at tight end. You know what I mean? For 2 guys. So you can only probably re-sign one. And you have to make a decision.
It's different times now because now this team has a number 1 receiver now. Like, see, like you'd use those double tight end sets, obviously for mismatches. But when we had Deshaun Jackson hurt, when we didn't have speed on the outside, we had to use double tight end sets to get more mismatches, which we couldn't. It was the only option we had. Times are changing in Philly now. We might not need maybe just 2. I know Nick will utilize these tight ends, double tight end sets. I don't know how much he's gonna 12-man personnel. I don't know how much he's gonna do it, but it just depends.
I don't think he's gonna do it a lot because from what I heard, they were really concerned about putting way more speed on the field. So I think you'll see it, but just not a lot.
Rylan Yancey with the super chat, appreciate it, bro. He says, just want to say y'all are awesome and glad y'all started this podcast together. Great way to unravel after a tough day. Can't wait to watch Jalen in game 1. Really appreciate that you enjoy it, and glad that we're here to talk football. We're going to be doing it every single week. We're going to be doing it 2 times a week once the season starts. So it's going to be Saturday nights. Oh, go ahead.
Saturday nights. Saturday nights before the game, so it's going to be on the eve of the game, and then we're going to do a late post game at night on Sunday. So should be fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day.
Long day.
Paul Mancini says you can't trade a quality starter until you know their replacement is ready and somewhat proven.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, I guess my question is at what point do you say you've seen enough to know? Like, to me, I've seen enough of Dallas Goedert to take the shot. I've seen enough. He's got to stay healthy, of course, but I've seen enough good things from him to know that he can be better. Now he's got to go and live up to it, but I think, like that, like if you're talking about trading Goddard for Tyree Jackson, of course you got to wait. You have to wait. I agree.
Yeah, no, I think you got to keep Tyree Jackson on the shelf. I mean, just for a guy that's just learned the position, like what 6'7", 82.5-inch wingspan. I mean, the guy has natural size and a lot of power. I mean, if he just starts knowing, if there's a good coach behind him, a good position coach behind him that could show him some guidance on working on that position, I'm telling you, he might not be a Gronk, but he'll definitely be a good number 2 to a quality number 1. You never know.
I think Tyree Jackson could be an absolute stud as a tight end if he develops. But he's raw. He's still got to develop,
Yeah. I mean, you're learning from quarterback to receiver. Now you're going for tight end. I think the Eagles tried turning him to a wide receiver at one point, a couple times. Yeah, he was in camp as a wide receiver. He was a quarterback turned to a wide receiver, and then obviously with the Nick Sirianni era, now they're trying to turn him into a tight end, which is smart development, knowing how to use these guys, and it looks like it was working. So until he got hurt,
it definitely was.
Jay Cott says, your guys take on how many blitzes we see on Sunday. It really depends on the game and how it's going. I mean, really, if you're not getting much of a pass rush, we're going to be blitzing. You're not going to be Jim Schwartz and never blitz. I mean, that was definitely not good. But, that just depends if we're getting to the quarterback. If we're getting to the quarterback, we have no problem, then we're not going to use it that much. But we will use it, though.
I expect, I don't know how many, but I expect a lot more and a lot better designed than we've seen from Schwartz. So we'll see.
Yeah. Joker's Oblivion says, if Ertz can't produce this year, we got to move on. If he does time to trade Goddard, it's really a tough one.
I don't trade Goddard. And I see Paul Mancini says, but you couldn't say that in 2019 about Goddard after he was drafted. I disagree. I think in 2019, Goddard showed that he could be a tight end number 1. I thought that was the year that it was like, it's time. He made some great plays, I think, against Buffalo, against Dallas. I thought he came on really late in the year that year. So I thought that was the year that he showed he could play.
Yeah, I think it was the same for Miles Sanders as well, because if you remember when he was drafted, he barely was used. Jordan Howard was in there, and then like once Miles got back in, got his groove going, it really worked.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
let's see here.
I mean, the report that when I said the money for Goddard, I didn't make that up. I'm not just throwing that out there. That's what was reported. I don't know how true it is, but they were talking about somewhere under Kittle money is what it would cost. Anywhere somewhere around $12 million, something like that. That I didn't make that up. That's what was reported.
Yeah. So I think most of us are afraid that, could this be a trade deadline type trade for Goddard, or it could be, Zach Ertz at the time, or at this point, you want to make sure that these guys don't get injured. You don't want Zach Ertz to get injured again, because then you're going to have no value. You're back to nothing pretty much.
Yeah, agreed. I agree.
So.
Look, and like I said before, I understand why people want Ertz. Ertz is a great tight end, Eagle great. I get it. But I think if you think about it in the terms of in the next few years, I think it's a right move. But if Ertz wants to stay as a backup tight end or take less money, I have no problem with that as long as you keep Goddard. Just don't trade Goddard. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Omar N says, if Dallas Goddard's supposed to be a number one tight end, why do they constantly not let him be a number one tight end?
Because you have Zach Ertz. And Zach Ertz is a great tight end, a Pro Bowl tight end. And, I think in some ways that does, don't you think that stunts Goddard's development in some way because he's not getting as many reps?
I said to myself this year, I said, if they start Ertz over, this is before like the trade rumors and stuff like that, like if they start Ertz over Goddard on a contract year, it just makes absolutely no sense. But then talk about, I think they will extend Dallas Goedert this year. I think it will happen before the season's over, but obviously don't wait too long, because if he has too much of a great season and knows that he can get a lot more money than what the Eagles are probably going to pay him, then it's a different story. But they need to figure this out, and I don't want his growth to be stunted by putting. It's hard for me because it's like, is Zach Ertz going to be mad if he becomes the number 2 this year? That's why I have a feeling that Ertz is going to be the number 1 this year. I just have a feeling
I think Ertz is going to start out as the number 1 tight end. I definitely expect that to happen, and I don't know if it's a good thing in the long run. It may be a good thing right away, but I expect that he's probably going to start as the number 1. I think that's probably going to happen.
Yeah, it could. Burgang 31 says, shout to Burgang 31, by the way.
Yeah, Burgang. What's up, buddy?
Ertz is gone at the trade deadline because Jackson is coming back.
Maybe. I mean, maybe. Now you have Stoll, too. He's developing, and, he's got talent, too. I mean, there's definitely some tight ends to develop, no question about it.
Because when you think about it, guys, the trade deadline is week 9 of the season. It's by week 9 of the season, and that's the fleecing deadline. Like, you fleece teams for draft picks during that time. The Eagles have somewhat made moves at the trade deadline, once in a while. But this would really depend on if the Eagles are doing bad this season or there is a chance for a playoff. I don't know. Maybe if they're in contention for a playoff, maybe, or winning the East, maybe they still trade them. I don't know. But if they're doing good, I don't think they really touch him too much. I'm not really sure. But if Tyree Jackson is back by that time and they're like, hey, we're getting some interest for Zach Ertz because there's some tight ends or some other teams, you could trade him and get some draft compensation.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's not going to be $8.5 million in cap space back, but it might be a little bit lower than that. But at least you get a draft pick, for a high draft pick for next year, the year after, whatever they get for him. So I think it all depends really on how the season goes.
Yeah. 2 things I say. Where you hiding said he said that Ertz wants to take a backup role or secondary role like Selleck did. For him, I have no problem with that. If that's what he wants to do, then you can keep him. And I see Mancini says good young tight end, running backs, and wide receivers are all over the NFL in the draft every year. Now finding a young quality quarterback, offensive tackle, corner, defensive end are hard. Yeah, then you have to draft them early. Yeah, no, I agree. That is true. It's a lot easier to find those positions, but that doesn't mean once you have it, you just let it go. That doesn't mean I'm just going to let it go because I have it. I gotta hold strong to. I got Goddard. He's on the roster. Why am I going to let him go? Unless I can get some. I don't know if they could get a first round pick for Goddard, then I'd think about it. But I don't know they can.
And if you talk about the draft too, like there's nothing guaranteed about it because even when we need a position so bad right now, they draft it way too middle to late of the draft. Even with the Landon Dickerson pick, when we could have had Asante Samuel Jr., you could have had a JOK on this team. You know what I mean? So were we a big fan of the pick? No, but were we a fan of the player? Yes, and how much ceiling that the guy does have. We weren't hating on that, but nothing's guaranteed with this team. Like we don't even know if Harry Roseman's going to be here after this year. On top of it, so I really don't know if this team has a good season. Unless Lurie says they just think that it's his time to go, then it's a different story. But I'm not really sure though.
Yeah, I agree. It's hard to know.
He hasn't got the extension yet, so okay.
I mean, the whole Ertz conversation is I think it's very interesting, and there's definitely two sides to it, and I definitely respect those who see it differently than me. I totally get it, but. I mean, the Eagles, they got a tough decision to make with that. Maybe they don't make it this year. But, hearing that the Eagles were talking to Minnesota about Goddard does concern me some.
Yeah. Paul says, Goddard's looking for a 4-year, $55 to $60 million deal. I'm not sure I would do this until he proves he could be a true tight end, number one, and healthy. Well, if they don't start him this year, if he's coming in on 12-man personnel and it just bothers me. That really bothers me.
Which part?
It bothers me that if he wants if Dallas Goedert wants a big contract and he's put as a number 2 and they're just putting him for 12, if they're putting him in for only 12-man personnel, it just bothers me because how are you supposed to get your worth out of him? How are you supposed to know you're getting your worth out of him if you give him a big if you're working on this so-called extension? You know what I mean?
Well, once you commit the extension to him, you're not keeping Ertz long term. You could keep him He could play out this year, but you're not keeping him past that. And the thing with Goddard is, if he goes out and has a huge year, it's gonna cost you so much more. So you kind of got to do it now. And I'm sure he's trying to say, you know what? If I sign an extension now, I got to get paid a little more because if I have a big year, I could lose money. So I understand where it's coming from. But Paul's right. He's asking for a lot of money, a lot more money than you would think. So is that why the Eagles want to get rid of him now? Maybe, perhaps. But that's the name of the game.
Yeah. We got what's going on, man. It's Robert Dredden. What's going on, dude? He says Eagles 9-8 this year. Cowboys just 13 as the chapter 13 after this year. Good to see you guys. Go Birds. I think that. Go ahead.
13. Chapter 13, a Nelson Stinkelor special.
I know the Eagles have apparently the easiest schedule this year, which I understand that's on paper that's what it looks like. But you have to go face KC, you got to face Tampa this year. I mean,
you know what we should do next week? We should do a week by week prediction video. We should do week by week, go through the schedule,
we could do that.
And do that. That would be fun.
Yeah, we could do that definitely. To look at some of the matchups, I think we should do that definitely. I think this team is going to have some real. It's going to be some crazy games this year, and I think we need to see when this team gets hot. We need to see we need to see what's working and what's not, and this team could totally surprise us. I think this team can actually really surprise us, but obviously it's just a wait and see approach to it as of right now. And I want Jalen. I think the most important aspect of this team is making sure that from your coach to your quarterback. And how your quarterback plays on the field is the most vital and most important piece to what you're doing. Because Carson Wentz is apparently starting. Not to get into the Carson Wentz saga bull, over there in
he's
Indianapolis.
Starting all right week 1. How about that? We've got a shot at this first round pick. Not a good shot because when I think about it, and I close my eyes, and I'm not focusing on what the hell this looks like, and I close my eyes, I can't see the guy playing 13 games. I just can't see it. I hope he does, but I can't see it, Yeah. And so, we'll see. But I'm glad he's playing.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't have any trust right now in my mind going forward. I think we have 2 1s and 2 2s, and that's it. Like, I'm not trying to get excited about it. But if it comes to a point where he's already played 8 or 9 games, then we could start saying, okay, here we go, few more games left, and we could get this in the bag. The Eagles have 3 first-round picks, and if Jalen Hurts works out this year, that he's capable of being a franchise quarterback, it is going to look real good. It is going to look really good.
We need Miami to stink.
I think they will.
I think they need to be a top 5 pick. If we can get Miami to be like a top 5 pick, I'm going to be streaming some Miami games. I'm going to be doing voodoo and whatever I can do, Mark Holmes style, to get them to lose games.
Yeah. Well, we need it badly because obviously, as of right now, I think Miami has more of a shot to lose a lot more games than the Colts would if Carson does stay healthy. Obviously, so
yeah, and I really think that the first 2 picks are going to be, and I don't know which order, but it's going to be defensive end and corner. You got to load up on defensive ends next year. You do. They need pass rushers next year.
No, they do. They definitely do. I mean, they need another pass. I mean, you're losing potentially Brandon Graham, Josh Sweat, Derek Barnett. I mean, unless Brandon Graham already said he's not going to any other team. Like, if he thinks he's done, he's done. He'll come back on probably a 1-year cheap deal if that's the case.
Yeah,
if he's still productive.
Probably will. Yeah, he probably will. But you don't know what's going to happen. You figure Barnett's probably gone. Maybe you keep Sweat, but you got to get another defensive. You got to get a young defensive end.
Yeah. And, Darius Slay is a free agent after next year. And then Steven Nelson, if he plays well, he's going to command more money most likely unless he loves it here so much. I don't think Steven Nelson's going to take less money next year if he plays well. So what do you do? Is McPherson going to get his shot with Darius Slay on a 1-year contract next year pretty much? Or do you go in this draft?
And you got money. You got money next year, right? So to me, best case scenario is Hurts is really good. The offense is fine, and then you go heavy defense. You have a heavy defensive draft, especially maybe 3 first-round picks if you get it, at least 2 on defense, corner, defensive end, and then you have basically you use this draft to build your defense for the future, and I think that would be the best case scenario.
Yeah, I agree. Will Epley says, what 3 linebackers you got starting, Philly and Joey? I'm saying Eric Wilson. I got Eric Wilson, TJ Edwards, and Alex Singleton.
What 3 linebackers got starting? So I'll say Wilson, Edwards, and Singleton. Yeah, I'll agree. I like Edwards. I do. But I'll say this. I'm not sure the Eagles are going to do that. I would, but watch Jannard Avery.
Yeah, Jannard Avery should be interesting. I think he's definitely a trade candidate as well. So I mean, we'll see though. Kazi 420 Super Bowl 52 says F the stinking Cowboys and Giants. Perfect.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's right. They stink.
OG Philly guy says, what if the Colts are out of the playoff picture early, decide to sit Wentz so Eagles don't get the first? Colts already have a bunch of injuries. Does that really depend, though? How early are we talking that they sit him? I mean, it's just...
Well, he has to play 75% of the snaps unless they make the playoffs. If they make the playoffs, it goes down to 70. All right? So if they're bad and let's say they're not going to make the playoffs, right? By week 10 or 11, they know they could totally sit them and screw us. It could happen.
Yeah. I don't know. I think with the Titans now obviously acquiring Julio Jones, and obviously that team, not a big fan of their quarterback, but I think they're capable of doing a lot of good things this year and taking over just all the teams they have over there. If you look at the Titans, if they do too well to the point where if Wentz can't, or if Wentz is healthy, just say Wentz is healthy, okay, and the Titans are 4 or 5 games ahead late in the season, they could honestly bench Carson. It could happen. So the Titans could actually be a curse, or it could be a gift for us to keep the Titans, to keep the Colts on their heels all season long.
Yeah.
So
what we need is like Carson to struggle or the Colts to struggle, and so you're in the last 4 or 5 weeks, and they still have a chance at the playoffs, right? And they're still in it to maybe the last week of the season or something. last 2 weeks of the season, and he's already played 75% of snaps, and then they can just lose out. That would be the best case scenario.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's a chance. As long as there's a chance, I'm happy about it.
Telling me there's a chance. 1 in a million, but there's a chance.
Love that movie.
I know, right?
Got a super chat from Thomas. Heffernan didn't say anything, but Thomas, appreciate it, bro.
What's up, Thomas?
303 people in the chat, guys. Appreciate you being here. Guys haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Guys haven't liked the stream up, like the stream up. If you like the Philly Shakedown podcast, you like the stream up. We do this every single week. Once the season starts, we'll be streaming Saturday and Sunday, so you get double
the pleasure.
Okay. Double the fun.
Double the fun.
You guys haven't subscribed.
Yeah, double the moron.
And subscribe to my guy Philly 500 as well. His link's in the description below. You will be very happy with his content and what he brings to the table. Streams games, does everything all year. He makes content every single day as well as I do. So definitely support the stream, support us. We're happy to have everybody here. We love doing this every single week. It's a lot of fun, and obviously it's
And be sure to stay for the after show when we do ASMR. Psych. That shit. You ever see the stupid people?
No.
I was watching a stupid thing, and I was watching YouTube, and my video, like, the change, and it went on, and somebody's like, hello. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, oh my God, these people are morons.
We got Joey Smith says, I don't think the Colts can afford to sit Wentz, even if this season doesn't go their way. I mean, the QBs behind him aren't good.
Let's say you're out of the playoffs, and it's week 10. And if you sit him right now, you get a first-round pick. And if you don't sit him, you still can lose and not have a first-round pick. I think they sit him. I think they find a reason.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see Carson just taking do they really want to do that to Carson? Like, hey, we need you to sit. you know what I mean? Like, it's just like another, like, they're, you know what I mean? Like, they're commanding a big contract now, so it's like they have to play him. I mean, he's got to, it's like I understand, like, if the Colts have some type of plan, like, we need to give them the second instead of the first, but in Carson. In Carson's view of it all, I'm tired of this Carson Wentz talk. I can't stand it. It's just
he's Mr. Glass, dude.
He is Mr. Glass.
What the hell am I doing here? I'm sorry. Somebody said, "What's wrong with you guys tonight?" I don't know. I don't know. It's just been a long week.
Joker's Oblivion says, what dipshit thought, okay, I'll take a second, possibly a first if he plays 75%. Like, what's going on? What kind of dog shit trade was that? We got a first for Bradford.
That was Howie Vision's special.
Yeah, but the Vikings were this is right before the season started, and the Vikings were like, Teddy Bridgewater got hurt, and they were like literally desperate. And then we got a pick in front of, and then we got the pick. We had to flip the coin for the pick or what position we were going in.
Yep, and you know who we took with that pick, right? Derrick Cornett.
Mm-hmm. A good 2 years, I'd say 2 seasons of okay, of solid.
I thought his best year was his rookie year.
Yeah, no, definitely.
He looked like, okay, this guy could be something. Just didn't develop.
Thomas Heffernan says, what about drafting offensive line? I think we'll do that every single year. I mean, we always do that. You have to.
Let's say, for example, we got 3 first-round picks. I would be totally happy if the Eagles, let's say they took, and it doesn't matter which order, but they go defensive end, corner, and then an interior offensive lineman, or even a tackle if they want. Just the best offensive. I'm always okay with that.
Yeah, I agree. Paul Mancini says, do know if the Eagles have 3 first-round picks in 22 through they may not be able to afford to keep 3 picks, right. So expect 1 pick trade for the future. I agree. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you want to get a situation where you trade 1 for the future, but maybe you get like a second-round pick also. So, like, you get a second-round pick in that draft and a first next year or something like that. Yeah, you definitely can do that.
Oh yeah, they have to. I'm not expecting 3 of those. If we have 3 first-round picks, I'm not expecting the team to use all 3 first-rounders. I'm expecting one to be traded back for a team for future first or mid-round picks, and then use your others either for trading for players or moving up in the draft or whatever you want to do, depending where we are from the Colts and where we are at the Colts pick and obviously Miami. So
Drafting a linebacker, Omar, would be fuego. It would do it. I'm all for it.
Omar N says, "Hey Joey, how many guys that were drafted this year made it? The more, the better. Hit the like. Appreciate it, bro."
I think their entire draft class made the cut, didn't they?
Did they? Am I dreaming?
I think I think so. No,
yeah.
What the
I
hell?
gotta stop doing that. Does it vibrate? What's going on?
No. I'm like, why does it look like that? I thought my wife was doing naughty things.
They all look like this. They're, you know.
Well, that don't look all weird.
Well, mine's like the same, but it's a different shape.
This looks suspect, dude. It's suspect. I'm just saying, dude.
Benny Boom 68 says, "I'm hoping Carson plays well and Colts make the playoffs as a wild card. I really want that first round pick. We need it.
Yeah,
we really need it. And you know what? Like, if Howie Roseman's not here after this year, there's going to be GMs lining up for that job. If there's 3 first round picks, it's going to be a job that everybody wants. It intrigues teams. Teams like to come, like GMs like to come on to teams that really need to. That sound wrong. GMs need to pause.
Imagine if you're watching this show for the first time. You're like, what kind of people are these? These guys are insane. Yes, we are.
A GM is going to love to, join a team that has 3 first round picks, and if it lining up at the door, no joke. And if that happens, I don't know. I mean, that 3rd round pick in Milton Williams and the War Room controversy was so embarrassing. It really ruined my draft day. Like I was so mad. Like if I could record that moment, we were streaming that, and I was like, I'm so mad over that. Like that's got to be shown on TV.
I was already mad because JOK was on the board and they didn't take him. That is why I was mad. So that just made everything worse, But it looks like Milton Williams looks like a good pick, So we'll see.
Yeah. OG Goth, what's going on, man? It says Zach McPherson is going to have to get reps. He needs playing time. He just looked lost in some moments in the pre. There were some moments where they played zone and the guys would stand there, let the guy run by them, and it's like, who had him next for you know what I mean? Like there was a lot of blown coverage, but McPherson got Bill Belichick picked on Zach McPherson during that game. I think he's, like I said earlier in the stream, I think he's good. I think he takes good angles. I think his tackling is fantastic. I think he gets off blocks, but his coverage it's not great. It's, nothing crazy. But I think it's just going to be more of this is why when you don't draft a corner in the 2nd round, you draft one in the 4th round, you're getting a different player from a few rounds. So
and JOK looks really good.
Okay.
He
does.
He looks really good.
Definitely. Rishi Lar says Milton Williams is such a good pick, though.
He looks like it. Looks like it.
I think he's going to be a good rotational guy, and let me tell you, keep your eyes on Fletcher Cox this year because if he doesn't.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, you're good. You're good. Go ahead.
I was going to say Williams can kind of play inside and outside. They say he looks more interior to me, though. But
Yeah, but I mean, they did the same with Tyree Jackson. They were moving him all over the place as well, but. I mean, they're going to be moving guys around regardless. They'll be moving Brandon Graham to the inside. I mean, they'll be doing different things. So, I mean, that's only going to make our defense a lot better. I mean, I want to see Ryan Kerrigan play badly. A lot of people think he's washed, and I think he's got so much to bring to the table. Obviously, Washington drafted a lot of young talent in Montez Sweat and some of these other guys, and it's great, but he had to, stand back.
What do you think? What kind of sack range do you think Kerrigan could give you?
As in,
this year, his production, I think he still could give you 8 to 9 sacks if he gets enough snaps. He had 5.5 last year, but like you said, look at the defensive ends they had on that team. He wasn't going to get as much opportunity. I see him as a pass rush situational guy, but I still think he can get you 5 to 8 sacks.
Even if if a defensive end gets hurt this year for multiple games, I mean, are you really going to be that sad to give Ryan Kerrigan more snaps? I mean, he probably would love it. I mean, I think the scheme fits him very well, but I think at the end of the day, if he gets more snaps, I don't think we're complaining, and I don't think he's complaining. So I think he can get over 5 sacks this year, definitely. I think he could do. I think as long as he gives. I mean, really necessarily sack wise, I don't really care. But at the same time, like he's got. I know he could be disruptive. I mean, he's very disruptive in the backfield. So.
Yeah, I think he was a great pickup.
Paul Mancini says Fletcher Cox is the best shape in the last 3 to 4 years. He shed about 25 pounds and looks to have another monster season. I'm hoping he does.
He looks good. He does. He does look thinner. He does look in shape. We need him to be what he's been in the past.
Well, Hargrave as well.
Yeah, if they're disruptive in that interior, it's gonna help those ends so much.
Kid Curry Gaming says, guys, real question: CeeDee Lamb or Devontae
Smith.
Come on, I should get up. I should take my headphones off and walk away from that.
I mean, look, I like CeeDee Lamb, but
he's gonna be good.
He's great. He's great. I just think the world of Devontae Smith, and this is not because he plays for the Eagles. Go back and watch my pre-draft stuff on Devontae Smith. I absolutely love him.
Yeah. I think I was worried about his weight and I think I was worried about his size more. Because I think it really took me back to when Baltimore took Hollywood Brown and his size. I know he's been hurt a lot. You know what I mean? So it really is putting him in a good position to thrive in an offense. And I don't know, I got nervous, but then I think as time went on, I said to myself, you know what? Like Nick's not going to put him in a bad position. Like, you know, he's going to use him open field. He's going to sneak him around. I mean, he's going to be that open threat that if Jalen Hurts is in trouble, he's going to bomb that ball downfield and no one's going to catch him. So
if he also knows when to go down, not try to, know when to go out of bounds, know when to go down, know how not to take a hit, he'll be fine.
Yeah. No, that's definitely true. I would keep him off special teams. I would not use him for special teams. There's no point in that. I hope they don't do that. I don't think they will. But we got a super chat from the Digital Print House. He says, hot take Mulata Pro Bowl.
I love it. I love that hot take. And shout out to Digital Print House. Man.
Yeah, shout out to you, bro. And I think with Mulata, he's got some grit to him. I love his grit. Like, he pushes someone on the ground, they try to get back up, he pushes them down again. I just love the way he plays. He's very aggressive and very violent with his hands.
What about this? I could see him deserving a Pro Bowl and getting shafted this year because he's up and comer, and then he gets in next year. I could see something like that happen.
Yeah, it could. I mean, it's happened to Jason Kelce multiple times. You know what I mean? It's happened to him multiple times, and he should have been either higher on the top 100, or he should have at least been, or even not even top 100, but he should have at least been a little bit higher than what he should have been. I mean, just his toughness and how he's still one of the top centers in the league.
Yeah, you know what's interesting about the Devontae Smith? I see King saying the Smith could be a bust. That CeeDee Lamb has proven himself. CeeDee Lamb had one good year. He's going to be good, no question about it. But if you remember, going back to the draft with Ruggs, Lamb, and Judy, everybody was saying the guy next year, Devontae Smith, coming out is better than all of them. So where did that go? I don't understand. Where did that go? That's what people were saying all before that other draft. So I agree with that. I think talent-wise he is. Now, he's not as big, but I think if you look at his route running, if you just look at the guy play, I don't know, man. I see a very special guy, and I think CeeDee Lamb's going to be very good. I wanted the Eagles to trade up for CeeDee Lamb, but I mean, I just think it's funny that everybody was saying, "Oh, if you like these receivers this year, wait until Devontae Smith and what's his face that went to Miami. Wait till they come out. They're both better."
Waddle.
Yeah, they're both going to be better.
Yeah,
So.
and I didn't mind taking Waddle this year. I did not mind taking him either. Like, I think he's going to be really good for Miami, but I think the Eagles got the best wide receiver of this draft. I think they got the best technical route runner of this draft. Talk about route running, talk about perfect route running. You just drafted the best one in this draft.
Yep.
So,
exactly.
Paul Mancini says defensive end position at the end of the season. Sweat, Barnett, and Kerrigan are all free agents, and nowhere all three back in 22. Maybe Sweat, and that's it. I could probably agree. Unless Brandon Graham doesn't come back. If Brandon Graham doesn't come back on a cheap deal, like he's going to retire or he's going to come back on a cheap deal, and that's the way it's going to go.
No, he's right. That's why I would try to sign some of these guys before you can. If you can sign them a lot or in season, it's going to be cheaper than waiting at the end of the year.
Definitely. Jay Shung says, if JOK looks great, then why not marry the guy? You're married, 500.
I'm already married. I can't marry him.
Benny Boom 68 says, Joey Philly, if you do get 3 first-round picks, how would you use those picks? Go ahead.
Defensive end, cornerback, offensive lineman. That would be my 3. And not in any order. It depends. Like, if you're picking, 6 or 7 or 4 or 5 and Stingley's there, I'm taking them. But, it just depends who's the best player at those positions. But if I just had to go positions, those 3.
I think you have to go safety next year. I think you really have to go safety. I mean, I don't know what this Kevon Wallace, I'm tired of it. I'm almost getting tired of it now because he's a lot of talk and he's got no play behind that mouth of his, and unfortunately it's just, he's got a lot of bad luck, and I don't know. It doesn't sit with me well, and Anthony Harris is on a 1-year deal. McLeod is coming off another ACL. It's just the back end doesn't look good for the future right now. Unless Kevon Wallace totally just breaks out and surprises us, that's as far as it's going right now. I mean, Blake Countess and Epps and Andrew Adams that got released and all these other guys that were just really – I mean, Epps is probably the only guy that's like sometimes he's more – obviously he's a role player. Like if you put him in the right position, he could make plays, but that's like – he's got to be in the perfect position for that. Yeah. He has good games. He has bad games. It just depends. But
yeah, I agree.
But we're going to go for another couple minutes, guys.
Oh, don't have to stop because of my
Well, no, I don't want – if you're too tired, no, you know what I mean?
I'm totally having a great time.
I don't want you to fall asleep. Nothing like that.
No, I'm good. Keep it going. Keep on bringing the questions. Let's rock and roll.
We got 297 in the chat. Appreciate being here. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. If you guys haven't liked the stream, if you like the Philly Shakedown podcast, like the stream up. Do appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed to Philly 500, his link is in the description below.
Don't frown. This is Philly Shakedown. You never know what you're going to get on this. I'm not drinking Red Bull. No, I'm drinking a Bang. Bang.
Yeah, I think where we get really nuts is the draft. A lot of people enjoyed our streaming the draft.
We were delirious.
Over 20 hours of streaming, and then it's like we hear one thing, and we totally lose it.
I think the last hour was just laughing. We weren't even saying. We were just laughing. There's nothing left to say. You had Dr. Peppy was in the room. It was awesome.
Yeah, someone said that. Howie Rosa said Dr. Peppy was checking up on Landon Dickerson to tell him not to do cartwheels.
And then Dr. Peppy shows up in our stream. That was awesome. Where is he, anyways?
I've been around a while. Robert Gravino with the super chat says Smith will be the best route runner of all time. Remember what you said? What is Devontae Smith? He's you said it. You said quote unquote. I know what it is, but you said he's a walking.
Yeah. I
remember?
Forget.
You told me he was a walking gold jacket.
Oh yeah, walking gold jacket. Start getting his gold jacket ready. People got so mad that I said that. But I think that's what I think of him. Look, I was the one saying pre-draft that I had him I thought he was the guy over Chase. The only reason you go Chase because of the weight. But to me, Devontae Smith was a top 4 pick. He was one of my top 4 overall players in this draft. I'm a big Smith guy.
Yeah. Sandy Sykes says, why haven't we gotten Will Parks? Will Parks I made a video on Will Parks, after he was released. And I mean, that was a guy we had last year. We released him during the season. He was really frustrated. He didn't know why. He was really mad on Twitter when he went back to Denver. And, as soon as we released him, Ronnie McLeod tore his ACL. Like our safety position kind of fell apart, and we had nobody to replace. Will Parks could play corner and safety if he really has to. And, a veteran guy. He's only 27, 28, something like that, so he's still young.
They didn't know how to use him. That's what they said. That was the excuse. That's what he said. They didn't know how to use him.
Yeah.
And I believe him. If you look at that coaching staff, they didn't seem to know how to put guys in the perfect positions.
True that. Ray Meyer, this question's for you. 500.
It's a bang. Bang. Bang it. I think that technically is keto friendly, yeah.
Yeah, no, because I've seen a lot of people drink, especially the G Fuel as well. People, a lot of YouTubers drink that stuff too. I've seen a lot of people drink that stuff as well. That's supposed to be healthy, which I hardly doubt. None of that powder stuff is healthy unless it's some of the protein.
500 is on keto. I'm on like day 2 because I keep messing up.
Let me see here. Jay Koch says they wouldn't pick all 3 first. It would be more enticing on trading one for multiple draft picks for the future. Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's what
yeah, probably.
If they don't do that, I'd be shocked.
Probably. I'm just saying. We're just saying if you were in a situation and you had it, what would you take? But you're probably right. You probably trade one of them.
Kid Curry Gaming says Jaquette doesn't deserve a practice squad spot.
Agreed.
He was horrible. He was horrible this preseason. So
Agreed.
bad. John Martin says, Joey, what were you saying about Fletcher Cox earlier? Oh, yeah, I didn't get to finish. I was saying keep an eye on Fletcher Cox just because, I don't know if I don't want to get jabbed right now because I've been jabbed by this, what?
It just sounded funny because you said, I'm keeping an eye on Fletcher's.
I wasn't even thinking about it. I wasn't thinking about it like that.
Keeping an eye on Fletcher's Cox.
Oh, my God. All right. What I'm trying to say is that, see, now I can't say the same thing. So we have to watch out for Fletch. Say it like that. Because, you know what, I know he had 6.5 sacks last year. I know that some of those sacks were in garbage times last year. Now I'm saying sacks. All right, I'm done. All I'm going to say is this. If he doesn't play well this year, I don't know. I think Milton Williams could be that starting defensive tackle next year. You never know. I don't know. You have 2 defensive tackles that are making a lot of money right now, so I don't know. Depending, he's on the wrong side of 30 right now, so we'll see how he does. He looks like he's in good shape this year. We'll see what happens. I mean, it's a $23 million cap hit this year, and it just depends.
We're losing our minds.
Fletcher Cox.
Yeah, Fletcher Cox. But it's like when you look at Fletcher Cox. If you were in school talking, like a student, teacher would send you to the principal's office.
Oh my God. I'm trying to keep it.
Fletcher Cox. Where's Adrian when you need him?
Right.
Deep penetration.
Yeah, I remember that. Benny Boom says, Philly, I like that you would use 2 picks on defense. Joey, you're right. It's time Kavon to pack his bags and go.
Yeah, I mean, if everything goes great with Hurts and stuff, why not just retool that whole defense? I would love to see it.
What's one draft pick I'm really shocked they kept was I can't pronounce his name. Tuilupa.
Yeah, the USC guy, right?
I'm shocked they actually kept him.
Yeah, I am too.
Maybe they saw something. I don't know. I mean, really, at the end of the day, who's the other guy that we have that usually gets hurt every year? I always forget his name.
Which one?
We trade from the Colts. when we traded from the Colts
Ridgeway?
defensive tackle. Yeah,
That's not
Ridgeway. Yeah, Ridgeway gets hurt every year. I mean, he was a nice flash in the pan for us, but he's got to stay healthy. And Ty and McGill is great. I think he had we talked about it earlier. He had a really good I think he had a couple sacks. He got some, he got through the line pretty well. I think his pressure was really good. So.
Yeah, I agree.
Kid Curry Gaming says greatest reaction was the Pizzle reaction to us trading.
Loved
up.
it. Yeah,
I found a video online that somebody made, and like it was me and Philly 500's reaction to Devontae Smith getting picked, and they kind of made like a trailer, like a cinematic trailer out of it. I found it. I thought it was so funny.
That's interesting. I didn't see that. I'd have to see that. Yeah,
I thought I sent you it. I might have not, but
Pizzle's reaction was the best Giant reaction. I believe our reaction was the best Eagles reaction. That's just me.
I agree. Paul says there's a stud safety at Notre Dame this year who projects as mid-first round selection 2022 draft, 15 to 20th range. Oh, hey, I know you're always in the stream, so if you get his name, let me know. Let me know.
Yeah. Yeah, but hey, look, you definitely need a safety.
Omar says I remember when Philly 500 was screaming for Jabril Cox. I don't know if that was a real question.
I never wanted his Cox. What are you talking about? I actually like Jabril. I can't say his last name now. But I actually did like him though. I know. But my linebacker I wanted was JOK.
Yeah, and we were waiting for that pick, and then we were finding out he had like a heart condition and why he's not getting drafted. We found about the heart condition and everything like that. But the Eagles don't go after DK Metcalf because of a past neck injury, but we go after an offensive lineman that had 2 ankle injuries, 2 knee injuries, and 2 season-ending injuries.
From what I saw of JOK in preseason, it didn't look like he had any problems.
Yeah, I think with him, he's got good coverage, and I mean he's just, as well as everyone knows, he's undersized. The guy doesn't play like he plays bigger than that. He plays like he's 230 something pounds, 240 pounds. That's what he plays like.
Yeah.
But other than that, guys, I think we went over everything. As long as I think we're good. I think we went over, obviously. We're gonna go over obviously Atlanta next week. We're gonna go over a lot more.
We went over Atlanta, Goddard, the tight ends. We went over Fletcher Cox and Jabril's Cox. We've gone inch by inch around the whole world tonight.
Wait, what did he say? I can't. People are thinking this.
Omar set us up on that one.
Okay. No, I thought I saw something. I guess maybe I missed something. I don't even know. There's always this dude that comes in here. I block him like every day.
Chat.com. They hear Fletcher Cox and Jabril Cox, and they come right in.
The two Cox. Get your 2 Cox subscription.
2 Cox on a Mark Holmes.
I always gotta block this guy every time. It's so annoying. Every time. Yeah. Other than that, guys. Yeah. So next week, Atlanta. We're getting prepared. We're gonna be ready. So excited. It's gonna be a lit stream. We're excited for that.
I want to do. Things. I mean, next week, it's like the eve before the game. So we're all gonna be fired up. We're all gonna be ready for the game to get started. So I think we should do a prediction on that stream for the game, and I think we should go through the schedule. I think that would be fun.
Yeah, we could do that. We could go through the schedule, and I mean, we're just gonna talk everything, matchups. We'll talk everything next Saturday. We'll be on Philly 500's channel next week, so don't miss it. And obviously Sunday we'll be back on my channel late Sunday night. So we're both gonna be streaming the games on our own. We'll both be doing our post games, and then we'll meet up for a late round table, and we'll do that. So it's gonna be really busy.
You know what I mean? We'll be
celebrating.
We may even be smoking a stogie if it goes.
Probably.
I mean a cigar.
Yeah.
Not smoking something else. Not the baloney pony. All right.
Baloney.
Just want to make sure after tonight we're straight. See, this is why you need Adrian around. Where the hell is Adrian?
I know. I definitely miss him.
I do too.
All right, people are getting ridiculous now. Look at this one. Oh my god.
We are bad.
All right, guys. Well, 245 in the chat. 245 in the chat. Appreciate everybody here. If you guys haven't subscribed before you leave, subscribe before you leave. If you like the Philly Shakedown podcast, subscribe to the channel. Like the stream if you guys have not, and subscribe to my boy Philly 500 if you guys haven't. Link in the description below. Check out his content. You'll love his content. Very entertaining. And we'll be back. We're both making videos all week, and just check out our content. We'll be back this Saturday on Philly 500's channel, and then, like I said, we'll be back on my channel for obviously late night post stream. We'll figure out a time. Obviously, we need to know when we're both done with our post games, and then we'll get together. It'll be very late, so if you guys are up late and excited, like we will be that night, or that day, early in the day, we'll be around. So
absolutely.
All right, guys. So I will see you guys later. Guys, remember, Shake Squad up, files fly. Peace out, guys.